is an Unspoiled Network podcast.
This is Unspoiled, covering Justified, Season 5, Episode 4, Over the Mountain. In this episode... Oh, Dewey. Dewey. What are we gonna do with you? What are we gonna do with you?
Knew you were gonna do that.
Welcome to Unspoiled.
On this lonely road, trying to make it home, doing it by my lonesome, pissed off, who wants some? I'm fighting for my soul, God get at you, boy. You try to go, I fall back, I go hard. On this lonely road, trying to make it home, doing it by my lonesome, pissed off, who wants some?
Couldn't resist.
I'm so predictable.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. I'm Natasha.
And I am Alan. So yeah, poor Dewey.
Oh my God.
Poor Dewey.
He needs to get adopted by somebody with some sense and kept as a pet. Because he can't be trusted to make choices or decisions. And he can't be trusted with the money that he has that he's flying through. And
accurate.
He's just he's too easy a mark for everybody to take advantage of. So he needs to be under supervision where somebody can be sure that there isn't a con artist zeroing in on him at this very moment, because he's just so obviously vulnerable to that he'll attract them like he's one of those zap bug things, you know?
I'm kind of picturing Dewey at the mall with a parent, and he has one of the little Velcro wrist things with the phone cord attached to it that's attached to the parent. So he keeps wandering away and he hits the end of the cord and the parent yanks him back.
That's so oh, it's so demeaning, but it's not inaccurate.
Yeah, it really is fitting, unfortunately.
Oh, Dewey. And yeah, so this episode opens with him, and he has what's his face out here, Messer.
Wade.
With his fucking Weebelo shovel.
Yeah.
He thought they were going to the beach for the day, and he wanted to build some sandcastles.
Yeah, you told me to bring a shovel. This is my shovel.
Oh, my God. It's so embarrassing.
It's also worth mentioning, you're a Weeblo when you're 11.
So he still has that shit.
Yeah, that's a 30-year-old child's shovel.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty... just real quick before I forget.
Mm-hmm.
This episode was written by Taylor Elmore. It's his 8th episode of Justified. Directed by Gwyneth Horder-Payton. She is her 3rd of 4th episodes. She did Peace of Mind, where the episode just a few ago where Ava decides she can't shoot Ellen May in the church.
Okay, cool.
And Loose Ends, again, another Ellen May heavy episode where she robs the convenience store with the other girls, and the guy gets blown up by the landmine.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That fucking landmine one.
But I was thinking that she's apparently very good with pathetic characters.
Okay. Ooh, I wonder what that means about her.
I know. But yeah, she in both of those are very heavy Ellen May stories, and they're ones where you just really feel for her. So I guess she was the right choice for this. We're going to see her one more time. I'm wondering what the last episode is, but yeah. So Dewey is right up her alley as far as people that we want the audience to sympathize with, I guess.
Yeah, that's really making me curious now. Okay, cool.
So anyway, back out in the woods. Dewey and Wade, they're out there, and ostensibly Wade is going to help Dewey dig up his hidden money.
I didn't think anybody could be stupid enough to fall for one of Dewey's schemes, but Messer's the only one who's going to be that dumb. And Dewey actually drops the bullet
I know.
out of the gun. The whole thing is just so incompetently handled.
Well, I'm not convinced that this is something that Dewey came up with. I'm almost positive that this is something his cousin said, well, how do I do it? And this is something Daryl came up with on the fly, and Dewey's going with it. I don't think he's inventive enough to come up with this cover story that he's buried money all over the woods.
I agree, but I don't even mean that, like, the cover story. I meant, like, he's so bad at the, like, trying to act like that's what's happening here. Like, you're going into the woods and you don't have a shovel. You're depending on him to bring it, and you're making him dig it. And you're acting all shady and telling him to keep his back to you and not look at you when you drop the bullet and you're panicking. Like, that's true. You know, this guy still has his back to Dewey up until the very last second. He even cocks the gun and it's like loud. And the guy only just starts to turn around then.
Yeah.
It was just, yeah. So I think you're right that he probably didn't come up with it, but it's very badly, like, handled, no matter how good the cover story was. And I think most people would have started to figure out from his attitude that, oh, this isn't what I thought it was.
Yeah.
And, like, even the plan itself, like, you just got away with skimming off the top from these people, and then they mysteriously need to go to the woods and dig something up, and you don't start to be like, oh, that seems, well... no, I'm sure they just need to dig something up. I'm sure that it's exactly the thing that they are saying it is.
Yeah, they need all that upper arm strength that I have.
Oh my God.
Yeah, let me ask you, by the way. So Dewey pulls the gun on Messer with his back turned. Messer turns around, sees what's going on, and Dewey hesitates for like a while until Wade lunges for him, and then Dewey shoots him. Do you think if Wade didn't do anything, that Dewey would have been able to kill him in cold blood?
No. Because later on, Wade's on the ground, half dead already, and he still can't pull the trigger then. You know, I don't think he could have done it. I think he doesn't have it in him.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, so things go way sideways. Oof. Dewey shoots him and then beats him, we assume, to death with the shovel. But yeah, the shovel breaks. He has to go back to the car where he did actually bring another shovel. And by the time he gets down there, Wade is gone.
That's true. He did have another shovel, the fucking liar.
Yep. He just, I don't even know. I don't even know. But yeah. And then Wade has miraculously taken off in like the minute and a half that Dewey was gone.
Oh my God. I can't with I'm not blaming the show at all here, but it's just the whole thing with surprise, he weren't dead. I'm just like, oh man, this is such a Dewey thing. Of course he would just turn his back and be like, nope, I'm sure it's taken care of. What? Dr. Evil style. Yeah.
Well, this whole plot felt very like Jesse Pinkman to me.
Oh, that's a really good comparison.
It just it seems like it should be the simplest thing, and it just can't go right. Nothing can go right.
Yeah, well said.
But Dewey freaks out, runs through the woods looking for Wade, trips, falls down a ravine, and we just cut to the opening credits with him laying knocked unconscious alone in the woods.
This dude.
Yeah.
I can't believe that he almost died on an assassin mission.
Oh, I know.
He basically, it was a suicide pact almost in that moment.
Right. So we go to our opening credits. We come back at Art's office, and Raylan discovers that Wade Messer was actually a CI. He was a confidential informant for the Marshal Service.
Oh, he is so ticked off.
Oh my God, he is so ticked off.
Oh my God, he's taking this so personally that they didn't tell him. He's just being such a baby about it. And what kills me is that he's not wrong. As we find out, when he's like, yeah, you got nothing because they know, because they set you up and you've got a bunch of baby laxative. And they can't say shit. They just look at their hands because he nailed it so hard. But yet he's such a dick. They just can't say, yeah, you're right. They just don't want to say it.
Story of Raylan's life. Right? That's justified, condensed into 3 sentences.
Oh God, I love this scene though. Honestly, what is the name of this guy?
Vasquez.
I always forget his name because Vasquez is a Hispanic name and he doesn't look Hispanic to me, so I just keep forgetting.
Okay,
but yeah, he's trying to pose like oh, we bagged a couple of big fish though. And he's like, oh, bullshit. They don't know anything about anything. And he sort of deflates when Raylan says it. Like, yeah, I know. Like he's been lying to himself also up until the moment Raylan says it out loud. And then he's like, I can't continue the lie anymore. You're right.
I really like that they kept Agent Vasquez around, because in the first season he shows up as an antagonist. He's never really he's never a bad guy, but he is, he's there to get in Raylan's way.
Definitely. And
he could have gone away with, everybody else from the first season, basically. And I like they keep bringing him back. Mm-hmm. I think he's a fun little side character, especially him and Art together are always really enjoyable.
Yeah, definitely. Because Art is like taking care of business, but he is also willing to turn his back occasionally. And Vasquez is one more tier above that, where he's less willing to do that than Art. He will if he really has to, but it's everybody in the show needs somebody who's more willing to follow the rules than the other person. Otherwise, the rules would never get followed. You know what I mean? There's a tiered system of rule followers.
So they all go back and forth regarding Wade. And the reason they're all talking about Wade is that he is missing. And now Raylan and Tim have to go track him down. They're going to start at Audrey's. It has an E in it in case they need to know how to spell it. But Raylan's acquainted. So we go back to the ravine. It's now daylight. And Dewey is awake and kind of scrambling. I guess that means he was knocked out all night long.
Right. This is my question. That's a serious injury.
They say whenever you're unconscious for more than 30 seconds, every minute after that, or every anything more than that, that increases the risk exponentially of brain damage. Mm-hmm. So whenever there's something in this, you've been knocked out unconscious for 3 hours, it's that's really, really unhealthy. You probably have a concussion.
Do you know what I'm realizing? There's a moment when he opens his phone to look for service, and it says on the phone that it is 1:00 in the afternoon.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I need to see that. That's crazy.
1:10 p.m. it says. So I was already side-eyeing him being there all night, but this is all night and almost all day.
Yeah, look at that. 1:10 p.m. I actually choose to believe that he has been awake all night and all day, and he's just been walking in circles trying to figure something out.
Maybe.
We're just cutting back to him now after 10 hours of fruitless...
Maybe he stopped and took a nap.
Yeah, exactly.
He's I can't keep doing this.
Yeah. So, oh, wow, that's crazy. But anyway, Dewey's stuck. He has no phone service. He's now screaming for help at the top of his lungs because he is screwed.
Yep. That is succinct. Correct. He is screwed.
We leave Dewey and we go to the county jail for our Ava scene. And this is Boyd and Ava meeting Johnny.
Oh, Johnny, why are you the worst? Is he even more the worst than he was? Is that just me?
No, I think so, because he seems so smug and so sure of himself again. But now we know what an incompetent doofus he is.
Right. So
I think all of his swagger just makes you angry in a way that it wouldn't have back in season 1. But they're meeting in a neutral location, which is why they're all in the jail here. And plus it has metal detectors, so it means they can keep their minds on what's important.
Oh, and he walks in, BT Dubs, with no cane.
Yes, he's limping, but there's no cane, there's no wheelchair, he's moving up in the world.
Yep.
Yeah, he'll be back on the track team before we know it. So Boyd is upset about the drug shipment. Of course. And John...
Real quick.
Yeah.
When he comes in and sits down, Ava gets up and moves to the other side of the table so that he's not sitting next to her.
That's right.
Which I have to say, as much as Ava's been annoying me, I was like, yeah, that was pretty good.
That's a fun bit of business.
And he looks at her like, really? And I'm like, yeah, really? You two-time and double-crossing scoundrel. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Drug shipment.
That's okay.
Yes.
That's all right. So Boyd's upset about the drug shipment that got, hit. Johnny's upset because he got shot 5 seasons ago because Boyd found Jesus for a minute.
Get over it.
I know, right?
You're fine now. Kind of.
Kind of. I do like he says, I just about forgot how much I hate the sound of your voice. Using every word in Webster's without ever saying a damn thing. I just like when people call Boyd on the way he talks.
The thing is, though, that Johnny saying that, like, he's so dense that I kind of want to retort with, like, how would you even know? Like, other people calling Boyd, I will agree with. But when Johnny does it, I'm just like, you're too stupid to understand his sentence. That's all. It's your fault. You're an idiot. I hate you. But, yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
And he tries to be all like, well, I don't want to talk about business because I'm here to see Ava. And I'm like, oh, God, you're so gross. Oh, I hate him.
He sucks.
He sucks.
He sucks. But Boyd, though, is willing to put all of the suckitude aside because he wants to make money with Johnny, apparently.
I don't buy it.
Yeah, that's a tough sell. I think even including for Johnny, I think that's a tough sell. Now after this meeting, though, as we see in just a minute, that Boyd has Carl out there to tail him. Mm-hmm. So do you think that Boyd was maybe not sincere, but do you think he expected Johnny to say yes?
I guess maybe not. Maybe he just wanted to get him there. But yeah, I mean, wouldn't Johnny be anticipating that at least? Which he then says pretty much. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good point. Maybe it was just to get him there. Okay.
Yeah. So, but so he puts that out there. Johnny, he does this whole thing. He's only here to see Ava, and she'll come around eventually. Johnny used to be a believer, too. And then he storms out, and apparently that prison guard is A-okay with this. Mm-hmm. So, that's the thing.
I don't really get how this whole thing was set up, because the fact that they're, like, able to all meet together doesn't feel like something that would be true. But maybe it's not as high security a place as, like, what I'm used to seeing on TV and whatnot.
That could be. But that was always my thing with the lawyer in these last couple of episodes. It makes sense that the reason he is there is that Boyd is able to follow them in there when she meets with her lawyer, and then they just have to, put him in sensory deprivation so they can talk.
Right. So
I would almost would have liked it if the lawyer was there as well, listening to stuff on his headphones, because that at least is consistent.
Yeah,
with
right.
Everything else. Instead, apparently, they just paid off the prison guard, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, super weird, but whatever.
I guess it makes sense with what we find out later about the prison, but...
That's true.
Yeah, in the moment, I was kind of like, I guess?
Yeah. Again, I don't really know how visitation works in prisons, but I am fairly certain that that's, not the way it usually goes.
Right, yeah.
So Johnny leaves, and Boyd has Carl tail him. Meanwhile, Raylan and Tim, they go to Audrey's looking for Wade, and they meet with Kendall Crow.
Oh my God, this kid.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in love with this kid as a character. Like, can we please?
Yeah.
He's so underplayed by this actor, and I can't tell if it's just that the actor is that flat or if he knows how to treat this character, but he feels 100% real to me.
He's definitely got the look down, absolutely, and I agree. I don't know if it's the actor or if it's the I don't know what to attribute it to exactly. Mm-hmm. But he's good. Again, I honestly kind of like Loretta. For a kid actor, they got a good one, I think.
Yeah.
Or at least they know how to use him.
Why do you think we're cops? Because I ain't stupid. Like, he just says it in this way that I'm like, that is exactly how a kid that age would say that. Yep. Feels right.
And according to my notes, he is 16. The little the notes that I used beforehand. So.
Is he? God, he looks like he's like 13 or 12.
Right? That's what I thought. When we first met him in the first episode, we were talking about how he was like 11 or something.
Yeah.
But apparently he's 16. So they meet Kendall. Yeah, they have their interaction. It doesn't really go anywhere just yet. Mm-hmm. They do, though, end up finding Wade's cell phone.
Right. So they think that since this is here, he probably has another phone because he wouldn't be using this one in front of Dewey.
Right.
Which I didn't think of and I liked because it reminds me of how things work. Because I get kind of confused sometimes about like methods of communication between everybody. Yep. It's sort of taken for granted in the show that you know how everybody keeps in touch. But there's so much like ability to track people and stuff now that I need reminders that like they have to use burner phones that don't have all of the like smartphone capabilities and whatnot.
Right.
So yeah. Anyway, that was helpful that they like outlined that for me because I was like, wait, why would he leave his phone? I would never leave my phone anywhere. I don't care if I'm going to go dig a hole in the woods. I would bring that shit with me. So, yeah.
Got to Instagram that stuff, man.
Right. Look at this sweet hole. I should not have said that. Take it back.
No, there's a Snapchat filter. It's going to make it look awesome. It's going to make it look like a cat hole. So
what?
I don't know. Isn't that a Snapchat filter? You can make
God. All right, old man. Let's move on.
So, Dewey is in the woods, and he is apparently out of the ravine, but he is bloody and desperate, and he falls to his knees to pray to God that he will straighten up as soon as he finds and kills Wade.
Yeah, that is a hell of an honest promise.
Right?
Like, let's be straight here. He isn't even doing the like, I promise to be good, wink wink. He's like, no, I'm still going to kill this guy, but then I'll be good. Which I kind of respected a little bit, if I'm honest.
Yeah. And then he gets cut off in mid-prayer when he sees blood on the rocks. Mm-hmm. Which I kind of wondered if they were going to come back to the prayer at all or acknowledge that he has completely and totally forgotten the prayer because he found blood. Mm-hmm. And they don't. But it's one of those like
for that too.
God sent you a radio, and God sent you a policeman, and God sent you a guy in a boat, and you said no to all of them. Kind of. But yeah, so Dewey is hot on the trail. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Raylan and Tim are visiting Wade's house. And Tim starts to enter until a pit bull bursts out of the door and chases them onto the roof of their car.
Oh, man, they are freaked out.
Yes. And we get a proper introduction to Danny Crow, who comes out sans pants.
Oh, my God, that killed me a little bit. Like, I didn't even realize until he turns around and scratches his ass, and then I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah, he is sans all pants. Long pants, short pants, no pants. No pants.
Pantsless.
Yes. And Danny, it turns out, actually has no problem letting them in, but he's going to fuck with them for a couple of minutes anyway. Yeah,
I, kind of, this guy is everything that I should hate, but I kind of love him because he's treating them with, not only is he being cavalier, but he's also being kind of contemptuous about it, mm-hmm. which is not smart. And I'm sure it will lead to a terrible end. But, Raylan gets on my nerves. So I kind of like it still anyway. Yeah. So I enjoyed this scene a great deal, I have to admit.
Yeah. I also kind of like that the dog is named Chelsea.
Yes.
Despite it's very obviously a guy, a male. Yep. And Danny does not care. Whatever. Nope. Name is Chelsea.
Yeah, that's one of those things that's got a little story behind it, but they just leave the story out.
Yeah.
Which I always like when then they don't get totally into a backstory, but it's there. So yeah. Oh, Chelsea, sweet little thing. You can tell when the camera pulls back and it's just Chelsea jumping up at each car, that it's just an adorable trained dog. But so like I know that they're supposed to be scared of her, but or him, but I'm still just kind of like, "Oh, this puppy, hello, who's a good puppy?" That's what I'm like.
And Danny is claiming to be Wade's roommate, by the way.
Yeah.
As long as they're crashing in Kentucky.
Yep.
So he allows them into Wade's house. Back in the woods, speaking of Wade, Dewey finally finds Wade.
Mm-hmm.
Passed out by a tree, very nearly dead. And yeah, this is that moment where there's no reason right now he shouldn't be pulling the trigger, but he's just not quite there. And
he can't do it.
He is, nope. And then he's interrupted by a little kid who is apparently ATVing with his family.
Yeah, this like threw me off completely. I mean, the way that his parents react, like they're so worried about him. Like,
yeah,
dudes, why would that be like he's covered in blood? I don't know. It just seems like you know where you live, right?
That's it. Like, it's almost like they're tourists, except for who the hell vacations in West Virginia. No offense to our listeners in West Virginia, Kentucky, whatever. You're the same state. Mm-hmm. It just really is. But again, it's just Dewey's luck that he runs into the single most earnest, helpful family in Kentucky.
Yep.
They refuse to leave him alone. They refuse to do. He acts crazy, and they just say, "No, then you really need to come with us because clearly you need help.
You have sunstroke, son." Like,
yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
So,
yeah, this is the kind of thing that makes me like question myself as a person fundamentally. Like, am I'm absolutely not somebody who would help this guy. 100% no. I would be like, oh, I don't know what's going on here, but I want no part of this. Bye.
Yeah.
And that makes me feel a little bad about myself. But also, like, clearly in this situation, I would be right because I don't want any part of that. So I'm not. But
I don't think that's you. That's, 999 out of 1,000 people are going to react the same way. This family is the most unrealistic family the show has ever given us, but that's what makes them perfect for this scene because of course this is who shows up.
Oh, so, man.
I like it, especially because they don't come back, so that's fine. They're just there to get in Dewey's way.
That's kind of it. It's like Dewey is the person that I believe this happens to.
Yeah,
Anybody else, I'm like, what is this? But Dewey, yeah, of course this happens to Dewey.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. So yeah, they insist on taking him back with them, and he leaves as he desperately tries to distract them from Wade, like waving his hand on top of the hill, going, "Help!"
Oh God!
Now back at Audrey's, Daryl is questioning Danny about what happened with the Marshalls, and he's not at all happy that Danny was, allowed them to do anything at all.
Yeah.
And Daryl explains to Danny that no, they can't just kill them because that's his solution.
Oh my God, of course it is.
Yeah. And Jean-Baptiste is very quiet, but kind of watching everything and agreeing like, yeah, we can't just kill them.
Mm-hmm.
Bird. Daryl's focus then kind of shifts over to Dewey, and he admits like, we are probably going to have to kill him. And I mean, who didn't see that coming? I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
now,
good.
actually,
he needs a supervisor. He needs a handler.
Help! Dewey needs an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, I said earlier that we'd get to our Ava scene, but I forgot. Of course, we have multiple Ava scenes this episode.
Yeah.
That's where we go now. We go to Danny Strong.
Yeah.
Who is of Buffy fame, among other things.
And he plays kind of a shitbag in Buffy, too.
He kind of does.
So...
He kind of does. I mean, this guy's worse.
Much worse. He's the Daryl, is it, of that group? The trio. I'm sorry, I don't know if Chris is listening or if he's gotten there yet, so I won't go any further. But he is the main dude that I think is named Daryl from that group in this show.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Who he's playing in this show, is the main guy of the trio.
Yeah.
Exactly. And in Buffy, Danny is closer to the Dewey of that group.
Yes. Yes, he is, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
It doesn't mean he's not a bad person, but yeah.
But he's a more pathetic person. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, back on our show. Ava is leaving her cell. Mm-hmm. And he is confronted by Danny Strong, and the guard is named Albert Ficus, which is a great name. And he starts being a little suggestive, and Ava plays dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And she makes the "aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper" reference. And then he stops being quite so low-key about it, and he gets real specific.
Yep. Disrobe and bend over.
Yeah.
Which, like, that line is so simultaneously clinical and degrading, which is a real tough, like, combo to manage.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, that literally made my skin crawl right off my body. I am skinless now. Yeah.
Well, and he says it in a way where you just know, like, this is not the first time he's done this.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, this
100% completely something he's done before. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And it looks like this is about to go down until the female officer, Susan Crane. I don't think we know her name at that point, but she shows up to check in, quote unquote,
right,
and sort of temporarily at least derail stuff.
Yeah, she kind of gives Ava this line like, this isn't a cotillion. But then when Ava walks past her, she looks at Albert like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, she always has to do this with him. And
yeah,
I just was like kind of relieved that there was somebody who is aware of his shit.
Right.
Because not that there aren't going to be guards, even female guards, who look the other way that this shit happens. But I was hoping that she wasn't going to be one of them, because she really looked like she was letting him know she was not pleased. So, and that was in front of a prisoner. So I was hoping that on the DL she would be. And it turns out she is, but it's not for the reasons I thought. It's not just common decency.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's one of the things that Benjamin Hamill, our frequent commenter on Facebook, said about this show is doing the thing you expect in the way that you don't expect it.
I like that phrase.
Yeah, I forget what episode it was, but he left that as a comment, and I liked that summary of the way that Justified tends to approach these things, because the female prisoner menaced by male prison guard is a pretty cliche direction to go.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like how they choose to handle it in this episode, because it doesn't go the way you thought it would.
It sure don't.
But for the time being, Ava's able to get away, and that whole thing is on pause.
Right. On pause, correct.
Meanwhile, Raylan and Tim are visiting Boyd. And they are, again, checking on Wade Messer, who Boyd totally plays dumb about, basically.
Yeah. And, like, the thing here is that he's playing dumb, but also, like, he really doesn't know exactly what's going on.
Right.
So part of it is playing dumb because he knew about the, like, what would you call it? Informant?
Yeah. CI.
CI. Thank you. But what's going on beyond that? He really has nothing to give them. So they're kind of barking up the wrong tree after all, even though it's easy to just kind of roll your eyes at it. But he's not lying completely. Yeah.
So they questioned him. Raylan lets it drop like, Wade was a CI, and we know he was a CI, and we know that you were feeding him bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And and this is where they talk about the cell phone. They found the regular cell phone at the bar, and they convince, let's say, Boyd to give them Wade's burner number.
Right.
And I liked a little bit of business. They come in and Wade is holding a shotgun. And being a felon carrying a firearm, they just decide to give him as much crap as they possibly can without it taking over the reason for their visit. I just like that.
Wait, you said Wade was holding a shotgun. You meant Boyd, right?
Boyd, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
For a second,
yeah,
I was like, wait, did I totally misremember this? Okay, I got you.
Yeah. So I just like, as infuriating as Raylan can be, I just like that he takes any available opportunity to make Boyd Crowder's life a
little bit more annoying. Yeah.
Exactly. Just a little bit more cumbersome. So yeah, they get Wade's burner number. And while Boyd is giving them that information back at the Marshal's headquarters, Art gets a call back from his guy in Detroit.
Oh.
Yeah.
This isn't awesome.
And he has information on where everybody was on the night that Nikki Augustine was murdered. And he suggests that Art might want to take a trip up to Detroit that night.
Like real solid information. Like the guy that he finally winds up meeting is not somebody that you mistrust their word, really. There is something about him that has a certain kind of gravitas that you're like, yeah, if this guy's spilling, this is for real.
Yeah.
Not good. Not
so good. Yeah. Now, back at Audrey's, Daryl is making upgrades to the defenses behind the bar, trading in the baseball bat for, a gun. And Danny reports back to Daryl that he can't find Wade or Dewey.
And
Daryl is about to get really pissed until Dewey calls Daryl crying hysterically.
Oh my God. This guy. What a mess he is.
Yeah. Not all that far away from where Dewey is, or where Dewey was. Raylan has now followed the GPS coordinates they got on Wade's cell phone into the middle of the woods, but they can't find him. I'm sorry, he's not in the middle of the woods. My bad. I was a little ahead of my thing here. They follow him to a bed and breakfast.
Right.
Near the woods. Sorry.
And he sees the crows circling.
Yes.
Which is a pretty great metaphor.
Yeah, right?
I like it.
Ooh, very nice. And all the birds are headed yonder. So Raylan heads yonder. We now go to Daryl, who has collected Dewey. And they are on the road. He's questioning Dewey about what the hell happened. Where did Wade go? And Dewey tries to explain how it's all because of the Weeblo shovel.
Oh, my God.
And Daryl has no idea what he's talking about and no time for this.
Like, the thing with Dewey is, like, again, I think he thinks that he's telling the truth when he says that's why it all happened. I think he really does think it's that fucking shovel, that everything would have been fine if it hadn't been for that shovel. May I remind you, sir, that you dropped the bullets from your gun, but I guess that's fine and just a thing that happens. Real professional. Yeah,
well, it's kind of, I don't know why this is springing to mind exactly, but did you ever watch Married with Children when it was on?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember the episode where Kelly Bundy is going on a game show?
No.
And okay, she has to go on a game show, and they learn. I think it might be a sports game show, but I could be wrong. They realize that she has no more room for information in her brain, so they can teach her new things, but she loses a different piece of knowledge with every fact they give her.
That's pretty brilliant, actually.
Yeah, and at the very start of the show, she learns how to use the buzzer in front of her, and that kicks out the one thing that she needs to know to win the game show at the very end of the episode. Of
course it does.
Yeah. And that is that her father is the guy who won 4 touchdowns in a single game at Polk High. It was like local sports trivia.
No.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Oh, that show is so good. It was really not, but it like kind of is.
Yeah.
It has its place in my heart.
Me too. Me too. But I kind of picture Dewey doing the same thing, where he had all this stuff he wanted to explain, but then he learned about a Weeblo shovel, and so he can't get to everything else until he explains the shovel first.
Okay, I like that. So he's like fixated.
Kind of, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, I don't know. That's not, I guess, not a perfect analogy, but it's just where my head.
It still works, though. Yeah, no, I get it.
So, anyway, they get near the place where Dewey directs Daryl to, and they have to stop because there's a bunch of police cars and a coroner's van already parked there.
Surprise.
Yeah. So Daryl says that I think your problem got took care of on its own.
Yeah. I mean, but there's a body, though, right? Which
yes.
we were hoping to avoid. So that can link you. So that's not really the problem being taken care of. Not really.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah.
For now, I guess it's better than nothing. Yes.
They don't have to kill Wade. So that's something. Meanwhile, the carrion, or I wrote down carrion birds. They're crows. The crows have led Raylan to Wade's body, and the coroner's covering it up with a yellow plastic sheet. So Raylan returns back to Tim and Boyd, who are playing Scrabble.
Oh my God.
Which just cracks me up. And explains to them that Wade's dead, and they have nothing to hold Boyd on, so he's free to go.
I bet Boyd kills at fucking Scrabble. All the words he uses all the goddamn time.
Mm-hmm.
I bet he's a nightmare on that game.
Yeah, that's not someone I'd want to play against at all.
Brendan was amazing at Scrabble. Like the kind of awesome that makes you not want to ever play with him again. He would crush people. Like, I didn't like to play with him one-on-one, but I would play with him and his family sometimes, and he would always win by like 100 points. It wasn't even a contest. It was like, it got to a point where you just like, just stop. You know, like, this is stupid. You won, obviously. Why you got to rub it in my face?
Yeah, I'm pretty good at word games, but I have a couple and nobody will play them with me. It's sad.
That's right, because you're a big board game guy.
I am, and I have just a couple of word games, but they just sit on my shelf and gather dust.
I'm sorry.
I know, right? You should feel bad for me. So anyway, then we go back to the jail, and this is the scene with the two prison guards, with Susan and Albert.
Mm-hmm.
And
so satisfying. Holy shit.
Yes, they share a cigarette for just a moment, and then she beats the crap out of him with her baton.
Oh my God.
But again, but not because he's a piece of garbage.
Nope.
It's because she's protected, you stupid shit. You can't see that?
And then she threatens to burn his eye out with the cigarette because he's not using it anyway.
Yes.
Oh, good God.
Yes.
That is some shit. I loved it.
Yeah, and she makes him say that it will happen. It will never happen again.
Mm-hmm.
Which, good.
Yeah, but then I'm just like, it's sort of like that meme that a lot of feminists share when people talk about, don't get too drunk, don't do this and that, and it's comes down to make sure he rapes the other girl instead.
Yeah.
And that's what this is. It's like, she's not going after him because he's terrible. So basically she's like, yeah, you can rape other women, just not this one.
Right.
Which is just...
So, yeah, he gets what he deserves, but for not exactly the right reason. Actually, I won't say he gets what he deserves. He gets at least the least amount that he deserves.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. And she leaves him lying on the ground, looking very confused and a little concussed. So, behind Audrey's, Dewey is being imprisoned in one of the hooker trailers.
Yes. And he's drunk and acting like a fool.
Yes. And Daryl comes to visit him, and he starts yelling about false imprisonment or some shit. And he's super upset. He wants to know why there was all that shit you made me do, dragging Messer into the woods to kill him. Why?
Oh my God, you know why, you dumb shit. I started to get so, like, I have a lot of sympathy for him, more than I should. But I just really, like, especially because he's trying to talk about false imprisonment. You barely left your fucking trailer as it was.
This is true.
Get out of here. What are you going to go do? Give me a break.
This is true. Yeah. But Daryl, kind of blackmails him, basically. He's just like, you did, so I know you're a damn crow, that you're one of us. And Dewey says, well, I'm not one of you. And then Daryl reminds him that Dewey is the one who pulled the trigger on Wade. And
well, he blackmails him in response to a blackmail threat.
This is true.
Because Dewey's like, oh, well, I could go and tell you, like, I'm not one of you, all the things you did I could say. And I'm just like, why are you fucking saying out loud that you'd be willing to do that, dude? Like, what about them makes you think they'd tolerate that? Ugh, he is not good at this. No,
not so much. Anytime he gets anywhere near a real criminal, you see that he is just not cut out for this. Now, Daryl's recommendation, since Dewey is now deep in this with the rest of them, that Dewey needs to stay with them. And he will reap the benefits of that good loyalty, which is the strangest way to say that.
Right.
But yeah, he's going to be a part. It feels
very preacher-like.
It does. Yeah. It does, now that you say it like that. Yeah, but Dewey should be a part of what the Crows are building here. And Dewey says, you sound like you're selling me tires.
Yeah, he's not really wrong.
Yeah. Nah, I'm selling you a life, Dewey Crow. You just got to make a choice. And so Dewey is backed into a corner again.
It's like
not
suggesting that he has the choice is just so like, and I don't even mean like this guy isn't letting him have a choice and is pretending that he has one. I just mean like Dewey isn't competent enough to make choices. He just does whatever his scared little heart thinks is going to let him live another day in the moment.
Sure enough.
It's not a choice. It's like he's a little weasel just trying to get back to his hole. Yeah.
I was kind of picturing a lemur with giant eyes.
Lemurs are too cute. He doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, I mean, Dewey's a little cute. He's got the Heil Hitler tattoo across his neck, but no. All right.
Nope.
Right.
Nope.
Fair enough.
Continue, sir.
All right, then. So we go back to Boyd, who has joined up with Carl, and they are watching Johnny through binoculars.
Yeah.
And they learn that we wondered what happened to Johnny. Johnny is partnered up with Hot Rod.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and
I hate this because I like Hot Rod, and I don't want him to be part of this shit.
Yeah, maybe Hot Rod does not make the best decisions.
He seemed somewhat solid, but like I feel like somebody like Johnny has got to have so much baggage. Like everybody's got to know that he has this baggage. So I just kind of got to wonder what made him get desperate enough to like work with this guy, you know?
It does make you wonder what Johnny could possibly offer to Hot Rod.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe Loretta cleaned him up better than they were letting on.
Maybe, yeah, because I was thinking that we saw him last time and he was like trying to recover from some shit getting taken, or them getting shorted, I guess is what it really was.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe that is it.
So, and Boyd observes that that explains why my cousin's got his swagger back, balls to carry out a hit that size.
Mm-hmm.
And Boyd, about Hot Rod, says the bigger they are, the harder they fall, but not yet.
You've got to have a very big saw.
Yeah, exactly. Now, back at the Marshall station, Raylan has returned, and Vasquez reports that there was one bullet taken out of Wade Messer's body. Raylan's convinced the Crows are responsible, but Vasquez says, well, logic dictates that when a CI is informing on a crime boss and turns up dead, the evidence should point to the crime boss. And Raylan thinks, one, that's ridiculous, and two, it's really funny that you're calling Boyd Crowder a crime boss.
Yeah, I liked that a lot, that he zeroed in on that in particular.
Yeah.
Because he's not wrong.
Yeah, we've been saying that for 3 seasons now.
Mm-hmm.
Boyd is in charge of like 4 guys.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of pissing me off that, like, as smart and resourceful and careful as Boyd is, that he is in a position of disadvantage against his stupid-ass brother purely because of the connection that his brother has.
Yeah.
It just really feels like after you've put in the kind of work that Boyd has, you should have earned yourself a little bit more respect and notoriety but no, like, to the degree that he has to pretend he's dead for this one other guy, you know, like, Boyd's fallen on some hard times, man.
True that. So, Vasquez also notes that the crows that Raylan met up with in Florida have suddenly shown up in Kentucky. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of weird. Mm-hmm. And asks whether or not they carpool together on the way up. Yeah. And Raylan notes that Art is also conspicuously missing.
Yeah. I wonder if he, like, knows anything about Art's suspicions. Doesn't seem like he has any idea. No, they haven't really done anything with that since that one other scene an episode or 2 ago. Yeah.
But he does note that he is not here. Where he is in Detroit, in an interrogation room. So Art is talking to Will Sasso, one of the Canadian gangsters.
Have we met this guy? Because I don't remember him really. Was he at the meet?
Yeah, they were the 2 Canadian gangsters. It was him and
the dude that
Dave
we all
Foley.
recognize. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was the other guy, the one that wasn't Dave Foley. And yeah, it turns out that he got picked up for having a missing license plate.
Yep. That's a pretty like standard thing, right? Like people getting nailed for bullshit. And
that tends to be, yeah.
Just like, come on, guys, keep your house in order and there's something happening to you. But
yep. Little things.
And like he gets picked up for that and now he's about to flip on everybody?
Yep.
Like, shit, man. That's pretty low in some ways. Like, where's the loyalty, man?
Right? But yeah, he's willing to dish to Art, mm-hmm. and he prefaces everything by saying that it's all hearsay. Mm-hmm. But he says that Sammy Tonin told him twice that he had a Kentucky lawman in his pocket, or a lawman in Kentucky, one of the two, and that he was there the night that Tonin took out Nikki Augustine. Mm-hmm. He also names Picker as an associate, and makes a note that Picker often hangs out with Wynn Duffy.
Yes.
So, like, he really gives them everything. Everything. Which is, like you said, like, really? For a license plate?
Right. But, so, like, I gotta wonder if this isn't a setup. If, like, they knew that they needed to kind of get Raylan out of the way. They found out that he was, like, in on this murder in a way. And they were like, oh, this would be perfect. We can give them all this information and make it seem like it's just happenstance. And then he'll get, like, taken out of the equation because he's really good at his job. And it's annoying for us. I kind of feel like that might be a thing.
Interesting. Okay.
It would be very impressive strategically speaking, but I don't know who would really be behind that because Canada didn't want to send another shipment down here, as far as I know. So it doesn't seem like they want to continue what's happening there. And the Tonin Empire is kind of folded, right?
Pretty much.
Like,
yeah.
So, yeah, I don't really know who would be behind something like that.
You may also just be undervaluing Art's skills as an interrogator.
Yeah, he has to push real hard on this guy.
Really leans on him. Yeah. So Art leaves the room and he thanks the guy and he asks if the Canadian is headed back across the river. because there are too many Canadians in this country. Justin Bieber, Celine Dion, Steve Nash, which is a weird pull. He's a basketball player.
I always forget Celine Dion is from Canada too. And Drake also, I forget.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh. So yeah, Art now has a very, very good idea about what happened at the end of last season.
I hate it.
Yeah. Now, speaking of things we hate, we go to Raylan and Allison. And they're having weird sex, but not good weird sex.
No, this is like I'm like choking you out because I had a bad day kind of sex. Like, yeah.
Well, she's bouncing up and down on top of him, and Raylan goes, "Ah!" And she says, "You good? Okay." And she just stops. And then he says, she says, "So are you going to stay or go?" And she goes, "Whatever. You should go." And Raylan's just really confused.
Yeah. Yeah, she's not in a good place today.
Not so much. And we do get a little bit of a better insight into her because she then goes through her day and the stuff that she went through. Mm-hmm. And it was,
it's harrowing.
Messed up day. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. One of Amanda's cousins is an ambulance driver. Actually, her and her husband are ambulance drivers. And she will occasionally let slip some of the horrible shit that she sees every day. Ugh. And it's like, I don't need to do that job.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
I say that all the time, that, like, thank God there are people with the mental fortitude to be able to stand that kind of thing, because I am just so... just one day and I'd be done forever. Forget it. Yeah. I considered doing social work and stuff for a minute, and then I just realized, like, I can barely handle it secondhand on the internet. Like, firsthand, forget it, especially when most of the time you're powerless to really do all that much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's part of me not teaching in public school. It wasn't, it wasn't like a moral stand or anything that I took, but I do think whenever I think about going back, all I go to is like season 4 of The Wire.
Right.
And it's going to like, maybe I'm good where I am. Mm-hmm. Because there's a lot of shitty stuff out there that even just getting near is going to turn my life on its head, I can tell. Mm-hmm. So as much as Allison is totally uninteresting to me, it gives you a little bit of sympathy for her. Yeah,
it's this kid that was chained up to a radiator by his dad because his mama had passed away. And she finally gets the kid out of there, and the dad, like, attacks her with a tire iron, and there's a cop there that saves her life. But if he hadn't been there, this father would have beat her to death. Yeah. And that he did it because he thinks that she's breaking up his family, when he had the kid locked in the garage, chained to a radiator. Like, you broke up your family, but he blames her.
Right.
And it is just so believable, It's just
exactly. That's not a story they had to make up, I'm sure.
Right, exactly.
So she sort of puts that out there, and they cuddle, and Raylan settles in, and he is not leaving. Good guy, Raylan.
Yeah. I mean, yes, but also then he totally takes advantage of that ability to take a child away. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Right?
That's true. You do see his face sort of change as he's sitting there contemplating what he just heard. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Meanwhile, though, we go from them in bed to Lee Paxton in bed.
With this fucking hand, which I got so confused, and then I'm like, oh, he thinks that's Boyd's hand. Okay.
Yeah. So he is home now. He's out of the hospital. Mm-hmm. And I realize that he's got like a bandage on his head, but he looks like he's wearing like a stocking cap, like Ebenezer Scrooge.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. But he's examining this hand. And he's talking to Nick about Boyd being dead. I like that Nick says, my guess is Boyd Crowder, he's going to wind up being the subject of some kind of myth or folklore. You know, what the hell ever happened to Boyd Crowder? And that'll be that. And something about that just charms me.
I just am surprised that he is keeping up his end of the deal still, because I thought that this cop was going to Mooney, right? Is his name?
Yeah. Yep.
That he was going to flip as soon as he could. This being maintained as long as it is a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
But I kind of thought, I almost wondered in the scene if Lee didn't already know and was playing like he believed for his wife's benefit. Mm-hmm. But then Mooney leaves and he's talking to his wife, and it's very clear that he has no idea because he's being really affectionate to her.
Yeah. Well, it could just be that Mara was in the room and he, maybe he wouldn't dare do something like that while she's there.
What do you mean?
Like, he wouldn't dare tell Paxton that this was a setup.
Watching them. Yeah, well, that's what I mean, though. I kind of wondered if he hadn't already told him.
Oh, okay.
And that Lee was just kind of pretending to go along with it right now because he's trying to lull her and then drop the hammer. But,
right.
Yeah, as it turns out, he really doesn't have any idea. So. And she tries to be like, are you still going to press charges against Eva? And he's like, fuck yeah, I am. What are you even talking about? And she is very smart and drops it immediately.
Right.
I really like her a lot. She's savvy.
Yeah, she is. She is. And that's exactly what you said in the first episode, why you wouldn't trust a single thing he said anyway. Like when he told Boyd, give yourself up and I'll, make sure that her thing goes away.
Mm-hmm.
And that was your big objection more than anything else, was I just don't believe he'd do it.
No, definitely not.
So, yeah, this is more or less totally confirming that he had never had any intention of playing nice with anybody.
Yeah, he's not the type, man. He gets what he wants always, forever.
Yeah.
That's how he rolls.
Yeah. Oh, and he does tell Mooney that this pretty much guarantees his re-election when that comes up.
Right, yeah.
So Mooney's happy. Until the rug gets pulled out from under Paxton and all of a sudden, whatever. But, we'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
Or will we? They have no intention of doing anything with Ava, and this is just continues to be bad news for Boyd, but at least he's under the radar now.
Mm-hmm.
Raylan, meanwhile, he enters Audrey's bar and he clears it out, except for the Crowders and Jean-Baptiste. And I guess he counts as a Crowder.
Yeah, I guess, kind of, yeah.
If you have to classify him as something.
Well, Crow.
Not Crowder, Crow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they didn't have to give him names that were so fucking similar, did they?
Right.
Come on, guys.
Seriously. Killing me, man. So, yeah, he clears everyone else out. Raylan talks about the killing of Wade Messer and mentions he was a CI, and he expresses, the belief that the Crows are responsible, even though he doesn't really know why.
Mm-hmm.
And then he tells them all he wants all of them to go back to Florida. And they are obviously not all that interested.
They react as well as one would expect.
Yeah, exactly. Ain't nobody going nowhere.
Yep.
And, and then they almost get into a shooting match.
They really do.
Like a shooting match, a shootout.
It's like you guys just got here. Like, and what's his face? Big
and
guy
they just talked about how you don't kill Raylan.
Right. And he's like just got off parole. Like everything has just happened and you're already like ready to throw down with this guy. Oh, not smart, dudes.
Yeah. Raylan, before the shooting thing almost happens. Raylan explains that, like, okay, if you're not going to leave, I guess I can't make you. So I will just collect what I came here for and go. Because he is here for Kendall. He has a mandate to remove him into state's custody.
Mm-hmm. That's a low blow, man. Like, I don't, like, is it necessarily a bad thing? The thing is, like, stuff like this where I'm like, on the one hand, nothing can go well for this kid living the way that he's living. On the other hand, it's probably kind of too late. Like, even if you thought that you could give this kid to somebody else and that he wouldn't go right back to his family, which I don't think this crew is letting him go anywhere. There is a point where I feel like somebody their fate has been formed to a degree. And this is a kid that has embraced this clearly.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Although, or has he? Because they come real close, right down to Raylan, knowing that Danny is creeping up on him.
Mm-hmm.
Sides like a velociraptor. And, and this is about to go down. And with nobody's prompting, Kendall just says, you know what? I'll go.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go. Which surprises the hell out of everybody.
Yeah, he's no dummy.
Yeah. So do you think that's just him trying not to see this devolve into a bloodbath? Or
I don't know, honestly.
Because, maybe he is kind of okay with leaving these awful, awful people behind.
I don't know. It's hard to, we just don't know enough about him. Like I said, it felt like he had embraced it with just being like, are you cops? And then he's like, I got a sawed-off 410. It's a fucking baseball bat. So part of me is like, he's definitely in this. But, yeah, I don't really know what his ultimate motivation would be. Because just avoiding the bloodbath, maybe this is all the family he has. Maybe he really thinks that he's going to be alone.
Yeah, that's true too. That's true too. So we will see what happens with that. But then we go to our very last scene, which is kind of an odd ending for the episode. It's Carl and Boyd in this dark, broken down room.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a large tarp. And Boyd pulls it back to reveal 6 dead bodies.
Yeah.
3 from the night of the shooting on the bridge and 3 more from the truck hijacking, the first episode. And that's it. We just see the pile of bodies.
Yeah, I got real confused because I was like, didn't we do this already? You just needed some guy's hand.
So, yeah, there's no context given for it. There's no, I don't know. It's a bizarre ending to the episode.
Yeah, most definitely.
It's not like a dun 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 or, it's just a half a scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, half a scene is a good way to say it. It is really, it feels unfinished. And not in a way that feels badly done. It's just unfinished on purpose.
No, but it's not a cliffhanger. It's not an ending to the episode, and it's not it's not the kind of thing that'll send you running back next week. It's just weird.
Huh. Yeah. So I don't know what that's about. And that's it. That's credits.
Exactly. So we will have to see exactly what Boyd's going to do with the with his army of the undead next episode.
Yeah. How amazing would that be? Oh my God! You just to get some fucking voodoo going.
Yeah, do you remember I want to say the show was called That's Life or Get a Life or something like that. It was a show on back in the 90s that
no, I do not.
It was a sitcom. It was not a very good sitcom, but it was weird. They realized they were going to get canceled a season and a half in, and they had to finish out the season, and they just started doing the most bizarre episodes. They would they would kill the cast and basically the end of every episode for the whole last half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
They would just have these bizarre standalone episodes where people would just get the plague and die. They would just they went completely off the rails where they just said, you know what, we're going off the air, so let's just do whatever the hell we want for the next 10 episodes.
Huh. Okay, that sounds fun.
It kind of was. And I've only seen it in bits and pieces. I didn't watch it when it was on, but it was just one of those things where, what would happen if suddenly everyone gained magic powers and the ability to fly? Let's find out. Or did you ever hear about The Walking Dead, the comic, about issue 75? The guy who told Robert Kirkman that what are you going to do when you get to issue 75 and you're out of story?
What was the question about this?
Oh, sorry. The Walking Dead graphic novel.
Right.
All right. Let me just tell the story. I guess
back when it started, Robert Kirkman got a letter on at issue 3. He got it like a fan letter, quote unquote fan letter, saying, "This is good so far, but what's going to happen when you get to episode 75 and you're out of ideas, or when you get to issue 75 and you're out of ideas?"
Okay.
And so when they got to issue 75 of the comic, the aliens landed.
Oh my God.
It is the issue that has never been reprinted anywhere. It's not in any of the collections or the compendiums. I've never seen it. But yeah, the aliens landed. The characters go into space. Michonne gets a lightsaber.
That sounds amazing.
It's amazing. And then issue 76, they went right back into the story.
Weird.
And it was just to apparently show up this one guy who sent in a letter.
That is petty to the nth degree.
It's super petty, but I've never actually seen the issue, but apparently it actually exists, and that was something Robert Kirkman decided to do just for the fuck of it.
Oh, dudes. That is some petty shit, man. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, that's
also,
the end of our.
What kind of question is that? What are you going to do when you've run out of ideas? You could say that to anybody who ever wrote a comic book.
I know.
That's just a general writing fear. That's sort of like being well, I mean, what are you going to do when you die? What the fuck am I going to do? I don't know. I'm going to be dead. I'll be out of ideas. We'll see. What are you even supposed to say to that?
I think that's how this must have developed. Because, really? I don't know,
right?
man. Issue 75, that's 12 issues a year? So issue 60 would be a 5-year run on a comic book. That's over a 6-year run on a comic book. That's not bad.
No, it's not.
For a random little indie comic that's in black and white. Anyway,
sidetracked. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I want to read the one review that we got recently.
Ooh, okay.
5 stars by Lord Hobbs of the United States,
Wait a minute.
entitled, "These two are the real heroes. Just 2 great podcasting personalities talking about some cowboy shit. Great hosts, great show. What are you waiting for? Put it in your ear holes."
I like this guy.
Yeah, guys, this is Owen, who I'm pretty sure has never listened to this show. So,
But we love him anyway.
That's pretty amazing.
He's stepping up for all y'all who have not left us a review, but probably should.
You should. He left this review on 420, which is our kind of anniversary. That's what we call it. So that's funny. Not intentionally our kind of anniversary. We didn't realize what day it was, but unfortunately, that's what it is. And I want to say hi to new patrons real quick.
Yes.
So we missed 2 weeks in a row, so it's a longer list. Natalie
Sorry.
P, Tosca, Chris Iso, Alex Bazan, Melissa Granados, Lacey Novak, Elizabeth Bergskaug, Ashley Biardi, Nikki Gerber, Jay Francis, Ryan, Anum Hassan, Kelly Wright, Anson Contreras, Michael Williford, Iha Again, Ann Thomas, Axel Berg Larson, and Jonna. Whoop whoop.
Welcome, everybody.
Welcome, all of you delightful, wonderful people. We love you so much, and we're so happy that you're here with us. Hearts,
True.
Hearts, hearts, hearts to all of you.
Heart, stars, rainbows, clovers, and blue moons.
Is that
Pots
from
of golden
something?
rainbows and the red balloons.
Is that
It's from Lucky Charms.
Oh, okay. Huh, I don't remember that.
I mean,
Yeah.
I made it up on the fly for them because they inspired
because he's
me.
so good at rhymings. So yeah, welcome to all of you guys. If you're $10 and above, make sure that you have your mailing address on your patron's account so that I can send you the postcard for the month once they are delivered to me.
Yay.
And if you are $5 and above, make sure to tune into me and Maggie talking about Twin Peaks. We're getting into some strange storylines in the middle of season 2. And if you are $4 and below, check out Sherlock, which I am doing with Rashawn. And that's a once-a-month podcast. And I think that's everything. Is there anything you'd like to add, sir?
No, nothing new. You guys can find me on Twitter at Al Kingsley. And you can find me here.
All right. Well, Facebook.com/unspoiledpod, Twitter on Unspoiled Show, Instagram at Unspoiled Podcast. Go and register at unspoiledpodcast.com. If you're a patron, you get access to older material. And yeah, guys, we will see you next week with a new episode. Toodaloo, motherfuckers.
Bye-bye.
On this lonely road, trying to make it home, doing it by my lonesome, pissed off, who wants some? I'm fighting for my soul, God get at you, boy. You try to go, God fall back, I go hard. On this lonely road, trying to make it home, doing it by my lonesome, pissed off, who wants some? I see them long, hard times to come. My life is ill, son, prepared to kill, son. Paradox of pain, baby, is real, son. Lonely traveler, ain't trying to battle you, but if you're feeling tough, dog, I walk up all challenges. Ain't got no family.
That was an Unspoiled Network podcast.